the reason that Ben Johnson is a good coach and highly sought after is because he's stealing my plays.
The Charlotte, your dad's plays.
My dad's plays.
Or is that? Are the
it's
good
collaborative. It's collaborative.
The good trick plays are your plays.
You've been around me long enough.
Yeah, I understand how this works. Buddy.
I mean, the fact that we're doing this, how official are you?
Very official. I've got my Panthers sweatshirt here. We're on a...
I have my Charlotte Christian sweats that are too short.
I've heard that you've coached some middle school football here recently.
It's a rumor.
How does coaching middle school football compare to playing pro football? Obviously, you're doing it with literally the same people. Keekly, Stu.
Yeah.
I'm sure others are wandering through.
Here's what I would say is the biggest challenge. Everything that we were built on and the intensity and what you're able to do and say doesn't quite go over the same when they're young, so you have to pace yourself.
Sure.
Sometimes you get caught up in it. But I will say the kids are super eager to learn.
Okay.
The kids they want to be coached. They want to soak up it all. They're like little sponges. A lot of them had never put on a helmet before. So that's probably the most rewarding part of the entire experience is seeing kids that back in June had never stepped on a football field. They don't know how to get a stance. They don't know how to buckle their shoulder pads. And by the end, you watch these kids as 7th and 8th graders just turned into full-on football players. That's the best part of the whole thing. And you do occasionally have to check ourselves and be okay, they're 13 and they've never played before. They don't know why they didn't adjust their route versus cover 2 with the safety on the backs. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Me and Luke will find ourselves, we're all right, so when the shade is backside to the 3 technique and the tight ends to the boundary, and the kids are looking at us like we're doing quantum physics, and we're that's on us. We got to be better. We got to be better. We got to be better. So
is Luke kind of second as the equipment manager and the water boy?
Yeah, Luke's equipment. He carries around a Lululemon tote, and it has spare jerseys, chin straps, mouthpieces. They're Coach Luke? Yes, Johnny. I forgot my chin strap. No problem. And he pulls it out. So he's D coordinator, mentor, equipment guy, water bottle. Luke can do it all.
I could see Luke also running study hall for the kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's helping them with their homework. Yeah. Luke is a man of many talents. He can do it all.
I mean, you guys have to kind of work around school hours and stuff like that. What class?
Our kids are homeschooled. We homeschool. I'm just kidding.
What class appeared to be the most challenging for the kids this year? Did you hear any?
You know what? I probably should have been a better coach and dove harder into the academics. The one thing I will say is we had very good dialogue with the athletic department and some of the teachers and everybody. Cart talk. Make sure you follow along.
Thank you for the plug.
No problem. We had really good, there's the one transition, a little bit different than what we did with Pop Warners. We actually had adults and people we had to answer to.
Sure.
We had a school, we had an athletic department, we had rules, we had facility, which was amazing, but also allowed it to be run as a real program.
Sure.
We had great dialogue with teachers. They came to our games. You know who the teachers are. Some of the parents were teachers in the middle school, the athletic directors and the rest of the staff. So we had a lot of interaction. So we knew when the kids, if there was anything going on in the school, even though none of the coaches of the middle school team actually worked in the building, we had a pretty good feel and a vibe for, hey, can we talk to the boys about whatever. We had no issues. We had no disciplinary problems. We had no kids that we had to do anything with. But to the school's credit, they did a great job communicating with us that if there was anything that we could help curb or we could help kind of steer down the right path, they were really good on sharing it with us, whether it was academic, behavioral. But we were very fortunate, the group of kids that we had, we had very few, if any, serious issues that needed to be addressed.
I'm assuming you kept your role as offensive coordinator. How much are you stealing from NFL on Fox production meetings to install into middle school football?
The amount of coaches. So my dad is technically the offensive coordinator, so he called 90% of the plays. But as you know from coaching with me,
yes,
I'm not short on giving my thoughts and opinions.
Sure.
And
get a little
that's
anxious
okay.
And you gotta call a play or two.
Same thing with Luke. Luke called 90% of the plays, but during the course of the week, I would send him thoughts and whatnot. So it was a collaborative process. But you have no idea the text messages, my production meetings when I'm holding my phone up to like my computer camera, has now my flashlight's on, my computer camera, like showing Matt LaFleur, like, Matt, how do you feel like if I put the back on the other side, do you feel like I'll get more pull? And he's like, bring it in closer, I can't see it. And then he's like, here's my, text me. So like, I literally.
That's unbelievable.
Oh, I've run plays by Matt LaFleur. I've texted with Sean McVay about like some of our trick plays. And some of the guys that I've had a lot over the years, when we get on the Zooms, before we get into anything about their team, the matchup, their first question's like, all right, give it to me. How's middle school ball going? And I'm like, it's good, but we're having a hard time, blah, blah, blah. Like, so it's actually pretty funny. And I think they're genuine, or they're just humoring me. I think these guys.
They want you to talk well of them on the broadcast, so they gotta be nice.
No, but you know what I do think, all seriousness? I do think after a week of this crazy NFL world where they're asked the same question and hard questions, and maybe their season's struggling or they're having a lot of success, I think sometimes it's nice for them. It's just a break.
Sure.
They're talking about someone else's team. It's fun. They're young kids. They're seeing these cool plays that these 7th and 8th graders are able to run and do, and then you tell them that you steal. I do have one funny story. So,
by the way, have you ever seen the bowels?
No, I have no idea where I am right now. So I
just like in the equipment area under the stadium right now.
This is, I mean,
you and Andy Dalton are the two that we brought down here.
And you're the only one on the team, I think, that has a pass that allows you to drive through all these areas.
That's
it
right.
Must be because you played more games in Panther history than anyone, and then you keep breaking your own record, and Darren Gant does a great job updating it.
There's
fantastic. 2 things I learn every single week from Darren Gant.
Okay.
What the uniform combination is, because he reports that with a picture of you.
Yep.
And how many consecutive games you've rebroken the record for Panthers. So
Darren's
shout out to Darren Gant.
Tell our story.
Darren Gant also, at one time, me and him didn't have a great relationship.
You guys were in a bit of a tiff.
We were, because he kept making jokes. He didn't work for the Panthers at the time, but he did keep making jokes that I came to training camp after other people threatened that I wouldn't show up to training camp because he said I wanted a new contract. And then he made some of his typical jokes. But we got through it.
You guys
we're
okay?
good. Yeah, we're good. No, we're good. But I just thought maybe cart talk was the right way to get it out there.
Just to vent it out.
Because I know Darren's waiting for this episode to drop. Okay, so back to my funny story. So for like 3 weeks, I have this really good kid on our team who's our right tackle. His name's Charlie. Shout out. And we wanted to give him a shovel pass, like a hook and ladder.
Okay.
Not a shovel pass, like a hook and ladder, wide receiver catch it, come on like a little inside break route, and then we were going to soft toss him on like a little wheel. So literally, we've practiced this for a week or two, and the Lions run it in the game.
Yes, I was going to say, did you call Ben Johnson?
So I'm literally on the phone with Ben. I'm literally on the production call with Ben Johnson. I'm like, Ben, you got to stop stealing my plays. All these kids on my team think that I'm stealing plays for you, and I think him and Dan Campbell thought it was so funny. I'm like, my middle school kids think you're stealing our plays. Like, are you watching my practice? And Ben Johnson thought it was great. He's like, show me it. I was like, we haven't run it in the game yet, but like, Ben Johnson wanted to see our version of the Penei Sewell hook and ladder.
That's pretty cool.
But I told him, I said, the only difference is if we ran it, we wouldn't have gotten it called back for a penalty. I didn't say that, but I should have.
Yeah, absolutely. The Lions are having so much success, and they're having so much fun. You need to knock them down a peg or two.
They were in a driving rainstorm yesterday in a monsoon on the road with like a 3-score lead or 2-score lead in the fourth quarter, and they ran like a double reverse pass in the driving rain. They lost 10 yards. They punted, and they were like, it doesn't matter.
That we had in 15. I remember there was a few games where you get up so big, you're just like, we'll do whatever we want at this point. It doesn't really matter.
The confidence is so high. Your margin for error is so big. Nothing gets the sideline upset. Nothing gets guys panicked. You can get out to a slow start, a fast start. So I called their game against the Vikings. It was a huge matchup a couple weeks ago. And the Vikings jump up on them 14-0 right out of the gate. The Lions failed on a fake punt. Aaron Jones popped a long run. I don't remember exactly how the rest, but they were down 14-0. It was like, okay. Or it might have been 10-0. Either I can't remember. It was either 10 or 14-0. But the point being, they just came back and they still won. Like,
because they're stealing your plays.
Because they're stealing. That was the point of the whole story. Is the reason that Ben Johnson is a good coach and highly sought after is because he's stealing my plays.
The Charlotte, your dad's plays.
My dad's plays.
Or is that? Are the
it's
good
collaborative. It's collaborative.
The good trick plays are your plays.
You've been around me long enough.
Yeah, I understand how this works. Baseball's similar. Who called that pitch? It really depends on
he hit it?
Did he hit the pitch or not? That's kind of how it
If the kid
matters.
ripped it into center field, it was JJ. If he rolled over to a double play to the third baseman, it was me.
That's right. All right, so last question for you. I'm sure we'll go into 9 different directions with it, but we're getting ready for
Picture Day. Do you have any good Picture Day memories?
My favorite Picture Day memories, and again, I'm on record for loving Cam Newton more than anyone. My favorite Picture Day memory was just anticipating which part of the uniform was Cam gonna not follow the rules on and just make everybody just lose their minds and just laugh about it before he got sent in to change. And he did it on purpose. It was kind of like a running joke, and we'd all be sitting there waiting for Cam, and then he would come out, and it was just, but it was small. He was like the master of just slightly doing something to make, Shula or Dorsey or whoever it was that was in charge of the room at the time just like roll their eyes and panic.
I think one year he played the circle game, so we got the photo, and there is he's got the circle in there. He would wear the wrong pants, not the wrong color, but like how high up they were cut.
It was great. It was an annual tradition.
I'm a big believer in you hope that the guys that you're standing next to on Picture Day look a little smaller than you. I'd imagine at 88, you were probably okay until Julius Pepper showed up.
Yeah, so I was great. Like my time was really good, and then all of a sudden number 90 showed up, and I was like, we have a booster chair? Like we have something I could.
It's 88. 89 has not been worn since Smitty retired, so
Rightfully
then you're right next to 90.
Yeah, it was me and Pep, and I was like,
that's not great.
Oh, look, this is not my best guy to stand next to, and he's trying to look imposing.
I always felt good because I always stood next to Colin Jones, Fozzie Whitaker.
Yeah.
Those guys are strong, but they are shorter players.
Yeah, you're in the safety running back standpoint, so you were good.
That helped me. If I had been like one row up in the linebacker row, that would have been
tough.
That would have been good.
Yeah, that was tough. I was in the DN tight end role, so you got a lot of 6'4 plus, and in Pep's case, 6'12.
I remember one year thinking, if I was 57, I would really be hosed because I'd be between A.J. Klein, Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly. That would have been a bad spot for me. So 44's kind of worked out well on Picture Day.
The only spot that would have been better is if you were like 58 and a half and you could have stood between Thomas and Luke. That would have been like an iconic duo to stand between.
Especially the jersey, 58 and a half.
58 and a half.
58 and a half.
We have to check the eligibility. I mean, you can wear 0. 58 and a half's more of a number than 0.
Any number you want. Brief aside.
If you could change your number after all these years.
Oh, wow.
And there was none of these like crazy rules. What are the long snapper rules?
There's not really.
In the old NFL, did you have to abide by any number rules?
No. Every long snapper in the league basically they were in the 40s, or they had an offensive lineman number generally, but there were numbers all the way across.
Or they were number 82 in
So
Chicago and number 88 in Carolina.
Right. That
Starting
long snapper that was too busy on the first 3 downs, so he let me have the 4th down. We actually had a conversation on the field. Johnny Hecker, myself, Andy Dalton, Bryce Young. And the question was...
Was this during the game?
This was last week during practice.
Oh, I was going to say, hopefully this wasn't during the game.
No, not during the game.
We were all locked in on ball.
Yeah, obviously.
I said, what do you think are the 2 worst NFL numbers? And the first one was brought up by Johnny, who said 57, to which I responded, that was my high school number. Then Bryce answered the question, and he said 61, which was my college number. So
61's not great.
It's a terrible number. It's a terrible number. So when I got here and I got to pick 44, that was much better.
Yeah.
It's
that
cleaner.
worked out. 44 is a great number.
Kind of John Riggins.
That's a great number. You could be like a badass Mike linebacker wearing number 44.
Luke told me that was his favorite number of all time, but he didn't ask to pay for it, which doesn't surprise us because he doesn't pay for cable.
Luke's the only but Luke's like the only future Hall of Fame guy that came into a team as a top 10 pick, and they're like, Luke, we're just going to assign you 59. He's like, yeah, it sounds great. I can't wait.
And he'll also do all of the waterboying and
fix the helmets of the middle school kids.
That was always my favorite Luke Kuechly moment was preseason 4. He'd call the defense and take care of all of the water for the entire game while not playing it. You guys are all sunflower seeds and bubblegum.
Yeah.
Luke's calling the defense and making sure everyone out there
When Luke
is
called
okay.
those series that year, that was fun.
That was really good. I mean, we would have been fine with him calling the whole game during the regular season too. But
that's for another cart talk.
Another cart talk. Greg, I appreciate it. Oh, before I forget,
because it's just been a little bit different, a little gift for showing up.
You can wear this on your next broadcast. I think you said you had like Atlanta, New Orleans. I think everyone would
What is
love to see you
What does it
wear
say?
Cart Talk with JJ
Oh my
Jansen.
God, you have
a shirt, and you can wear that under your nice suit jacket.
How did I not have this on for the entire thing?
It was a surprise. It was a gift.
Drive back around. We're gonna do
Here
it
we
again.
go again. We're starting over.
Dude,
Appreciate it, bud.
incredible.
This is the third time you've been on. You're the first 3-time guest, and you're our first legend, which
I
is
feel
fantastic.
honored.
Greg, appreciate it, buddy. This
You're
was
the
fun.
best.
You are
You're
too.
the man.
Baseball season's right around the corner. 4
We'll
months.
do another one. We'll do another this offseason.
12U Revs baseball. All right, buddy. All right, keep pounding. Appreciate it, guys.
Keep pounding.